What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of 4 Dummies, and tonight I'm joined by the other 3 dummies. I have Mrs. Skullface.
Hello.
I have JISK.
Yo, what's happening?
And I have Robert Detoff.
Hello.
And tonight we are going to be talking about the Takara Trailbreaker and sort of a breakdown of our thoughts on it and how it plays into the idea of the swap out game and are we canceling any pre-orders, etc., etc., etc. So let's just start with general aesthetics as upon viewing this for the first time with virgin eyes, you might say. How do we feel about this?
Bobby loves it. Bobby loves the car. What do you think, Jisk?
I think so. This is the first time I'm seeing it, honestly, today. And in seeing it with everything else, it looks crazy to me. Like the proportions look crazy as to me. It looks like the modern cartoon. Like, what's that Transformers animated cartoon? You know how they kind of had like these real long legs and then they got like these skinny waists and stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Animated, it looks weird to me. It doesn't look G1-ish to me. I don't think it looks great. Honestly, I don't think any of them, with the exception of the FANSTOYS, and I'm not just saying that just because FANSTOYS proportionally look okay, but all of them look crazy to me. You know what's weird though is like the BADCUBE one is up there as one of the top ones still.
I never.
So you know what's funny is you say that. Looking at them, I have to admit it's my favorite one.
Why?
The BADCUBE?
Yeah.
Why?
Like I don't know. I can't tell you. So like I can say that like when I looked at all of them together, right? I don't know if it's the photography. I don't know what it is, but I was like, man, the BADCUBE one, for one, like the robot looks interesting, but for two, the truck looks the most realistic.
All right, Justin.
Yeah, the truck is cool.
The truck is amazing. I think the BADCUBE truck is hands down the best looking truck. But like even the robot mode, it looks pretty good. I currently have the X-Transbots one, and I think that it is good enough for robot mode, but it's not necessarily what I want, but I would never swap it out for the Takara. Not in a million years.
I actually feel like the X-Transbot spot looks the most ridiculous.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like I feel like his chest is just like...
Ooh, well, he looks stupid in general, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's a stupid-looking robot.
But he almost looks like an old-timey football player. Mm-hmm. So I've got a problem with the BADCUBE because...
But wait. I'm more interested in what your thoughts are on the Takara.
Oh, the Takara? Come on. It's stupid. What do you want? What they did with the Takara, they obviously, like I've heard you in several places now talk about and ask people about the blue on the flank and the chest, and people have opined about, is this mistransformed? No, it's not, whatever. And I mean, I'm of the opinion that the reason it looks like this is because they are cheaping out and they are finding a terrible midpoint between
this and Hoist.
Trailbreaker.
Yeah, I agree.
This is all you're getting for either.
So are you buying this?
Yes.
You don't like it, right?
I'm just sending it as a joke to JISK.
Well, I guess that's okay.
The reason I'm buying it. If I wasn't going to send it to JISK, I would not buy it.
So you're not going to keep this?
No. You're going to review it and you're going to send it to JISK.
JISK, by the time this is all
land of misfit
by the time this is all said and done, is going to have the worst collection on the planet. But like, I'll tell you, like, let me tell you everything I find wonky about it. I think that the face is too smushed together. It looks like somebody's grandma, like, is sitting like it just like the way, like, the lips are so high. It's just too much. It just looks like it's like, oh, could you pass the prunes? Like, it just looks like an old woman's face on a fat retired football player. Like, I think the translucent blue is a bad idea. I think it's like a systematic issue. It's like it remains a bad idea. It's consistently a bad idea. They want to trace this ultra tuned aesthetic, but in doing so, they refuse to do the things that are actually tuned looking, and instead give you this like translucent blue that doesn't look anything like the tune. But what they do choose to do regarding the tune is give you this gray look on the arms and legs, which makes the whole thing look muted. On top of that, it's all this flat matte paint, which also makes it look muted. But I'm not done. The proportions are monstrous. The stomach doesn't sit on the torso properly. You can tell by looking at the flank area, and then it all sits on this little itty bitty abdomen or pelvis rather that isn't even accurate to the cartoon model. It's like people see the color choices and based on that say, oh no, it's just super tuned. No, it's not. It just has the same color palette.
Are people hyped on this? Like, is this getting? Are people hyped about it?
I would guess. I don't know.
Yeah. The windshield is not the right blue.
Of course it isn't.
He should be wider. All of his features should be thick with the Trump face.
But it's crazy just that even like it doesn't need a ton of paint. I mean, I know it's a black truck, but it literally just got an Autobot symbol and then those 3 stripes in the back, and that's it.
Oh man, I mean, it's just he's too skinny and elongated exactly, and it's obviously like the legs just kind of fold up somehow up into the enormous that is just his torso and back. You know, that's why they're all skinny and so far below everything. It's just, this does not look too accurate.
And I think a lot of this is starting to come down to 2 things: color palette and face sculpt. Mm-hmm. And as long as those 2 things are in the ballpark and the rest of it is clean, people just say it looks like the cartoon. It's like, what cartoon are you looking at? The Megatron doesn't look like the cartoon. They all look like these heroic versions of the cartoon.
With a figure. Certain aspects, you got head sculpt, you got color palette, and then clean, right? But I feel like certain iconic aspects of that silhouette have to also be clean. In Trailbreaker and Hoist specifically, it's what differentiates the 2 of them that have to be clean, and it's the chest and torso.
Yeah, which is off.
You're right, and because it's wrong, the whole thing looks wrong.
I agree with that, and it's also the thing that distinguishes the 2 most significantly, minus maybe the shoulder flaps
and the leg height. You know,
yeah, but fair. That's fair.
But it's like, you give me a Trailbreaker with an off torso and a mess there, it's wrong for me.
I don't think it looks good as the other things that are already existing.
You don't think it looks better than any of the other ones?
Look, while she's thinking, I'll tell you, the BADCUBE is just off. It's got like a diaper.
But the thing is the BADCUBE is not trying to be a literal translation. See, that's the difference. Is that like once you make that line in the sand and saying, look, I'm just trying to represent the character, I'm not trying to look like it walked off the screen, you're held to a different standard in my book.
Yeah, but I don't understand how anybody, and most people are in the BADCUBE camp versus the MMC camp, but that MMC bot to me looks more true to the character than the BADCUBE bot.
It's funny. I think the MMC is the worst.
That's weird to me. The BADCUBE bot
I think the MMC is the worst one also.
BADCUBE bot.
The truck too, or just the bot?
Yeah. The truth is, I don't really give a about the truck. I don't even care if it transforms, honestly. But since it's going to, I think that BADCUBE has hands down the best truck. I'll tell you that. I don't even think it's debatable.
Yeah, Takara's has the worst truck, but then followed by FANSTOYS.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I agree too. I agree too.
Yeah,
the X-Trans bots.
The X-Trans bots. What about it?
I like the paint. But I feel like his head looks like been elongated.
His head? So his head doesn't bother me. Not like...
At least in this picture it doesn't.
Not like that Takara head.
Yeah, the Takara head probably looks the wonkiest.
It's awful.
It's the wonkiest donkey of them all.
Yeah.
The wonkiest donkey.
Yeah, the wonky donkey.
Are you familiar?
You know about the wonky donkey?
No.
Oh, dude, you got to give hip.
I'm pretty sure he's related.
But yeah, I think the MMC looks the worst. Like, it looks the most unfinished in the chest. It looks the most unfinished on the back. It looks the most unfinished on the lower legs.
Yeah, but the legs look terrible.
Yeah, but I'll say this in the same breath: it might be the easiest to transform, and that might be why it looks the worst across the rest. You know, without having handled the Takara or the FANSTOYS.
I just like the overall. I see what you're saying now. I kind of turned a blind eye to the mess, but the articulation in there gives it more character.
Maybe.
And I want to say something too about the BADCUBE one too. Like, just the aesthetic of today is like what FANSTOYS is doing, what Takara is doing. So yeah, it looks dated in that comparison, but it still isn't bad. Like, especially when you think about when it came out, it wasn't terrible.
Yeah, I regret selling that BADCUBE looking at these pictures.
No, you don't need to.
It was just made like trash, though.
It was. Well, not like trash, but not up to snuff. I agree.
The best.
And I do think the X-Transbot one looks like a gorilla, man. That thing with the arms on that thing are huge.
Yeah. So I agree with you there as well. It's all about the posing. It's the same reason why in that X-Transbots one they purposely bent the arms all the way up like that. for that picture. You know what I mean? Like they're trying to hide just how disproportionate they are.
The FANSTOYS bot looks the best if it ever comes out.
So I agree.
Yeah.
And they say that's the next one.
But not the truck.
No, the truck looks awful.
The Takara bot and the truck look worse than all of them.
Yeah, I think it's the worst. I think it's the worst one. Maybe only competing with MMC. But I think MMC's truck mode looks better.
Yeah, for sure.
Had you not told me this was the Takara, I would have thought this was like one of the ones like, oh, you get this at Target. This came out now.
But okay, now let's go into cost. It's $135.
$135. Okay, that's not hateful.
So, but how much is the FANSTOYS? FANSTOYS.
It's $190.
That's not. I see. $190 isn't out of the ballpark.
Damn, $190 seems pricey. But how much was the BADCUBE? Wasn't it $125 when it came out?
Yeah, so I can't really remember. Like, I think that the BADCUBE and the MMC and the X Transbots were all kind of reasonably priced around one another. Like, I don't think that there was any that was like egregiously cheaper or more expensive.
Is $190 the new $165?
Maybe.
With inflation, I feel like that sounds about right.
At least for FANSTOY stuff. And I think this is another issue, right? Like, this is another one where the paint comes into play. If you look at the Takara, it has that flat matte paint. And as a result, I think that just aesthetically, it fails in competition next to all of them. You know, and there's this whole question, right? Because like 3 of them are white, 1 of them's silver, and 1 of them's the light gray, right? And it's kind of like up to your mind, like how you saw it as a kid. Did you think it was white trying to imitate silver? Did you think it was gray trying to imitate silver, et cetera, et cetera?
Right.
You know, but like all that aside, right? So many have taken the pearlescent route or the metallic route that like it just seems cheaper to me. And just looking at it, I can hear like people give FANSTOYS a hard time for the squeakiness in their tight joints, but like there's a squeakiness to just Takara shit moving around. Not even like a tight joint, just like the way that the plastic rubs against the other plastic.
Yeah. Right.
And
is that black painted? That's not just black plastic? Is that actually painted?
I would guess it's painted. I would guess it's painted. But I can hear the squeaks looking at this. I can hear it in my head.
I want to see the Takara one on a white background too. I don't know how much like it just not that it would matter, but I think it would just kind of make everything else pop a little bit. I don't know that the black backgrounds do get any service. I
That's
just need
fair.
to see it.
That's fair. Like
I think
I'm
there's
looking
any
at the
metallic
FANSTOYS
in
and the
the red.
FANSTOYS isn't like this glossy paint.
the red knees might be a glossy red, but no, it won't be metallic. They haven't done metallic in so long. It just looks like a cheap toy, man. And like I'm not interested in spending $130 on a cheap toy. And Transformers is not the end all be all for me. I've spent high money on high quality products outside of that franchise where I know what that price point feels like, and it doesn't feel like this.
Well, that's accurate to the Japanese cars,
dude. And I don't care. I'm tired of spending money to make things look bad. I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm
you don't need
not
Takara.
interested in that game.
Takara doesn't need. You don't need him anymore.
I think Takara is tone deaf. So, all right, let's go around in order and rank them best to worst.
Are you going to do bot and truck separate, or are you going to do it
overall average? JISK.
I'm going to go FANSTOYS, BADCUBE, X Transbots, MMC, and then the Takara.
Robert.
FANSTOYS, MMC, BADCUBE. The X Transbots does it. The only reason it looks like Trailbreaker is because of the colors. I can't. That's got to be last. I got to put Takara in front of it.
Okay, fair enough. Laura?
Yeah.
FANSTOYS is probably number 1. I think I'll put MMC as number 2. Mm-hmm. I'll put X Transbots as number 3 just because the paint looks better. Then I'll put BADCUBE, and then I'll put Takara.
All right, and my list is, I think, the same as JISK's. FANSTOYS is number 1, BADCUBE is number 2, X Transbots is number 3, MMC is number 4, Takara is number 5.
I want a little skeleton with a number on the back of its head.
Robert's office photo.
Doll tool. I want Beast holding a 2-inch monkey wrench.